hate it when other people do this, but I've got to start this video on Urusei Yatsura Stay With You with an apology. You see, I'm going to have to turn off the game sound for almost the entire video. Not for copyright strike reasons, though this title screen could get me one of those. No, the real problem here is that almost every single line in this adventure game is spoken. Urusei Yatsura was a monster hit in Japan in the early 80s. Originally a comic by the PC Engine's favorite comic creator, Rumiko Takahashi, it was quickly turned into an animated series that ran until 1986, but was one of those shows that aired forever in reruns. The green-haired, tiger-striped bikini-wearing Lum became the poster child for a developing movement of comic and animation fanatics. Urusei Yatsura was also the second animated Japanese television show released in a subtitled format in the US, and the first was another Rumiko Takahashi show. In the early 90s, American distributors were unwilling to license those television shows due to the large-scale commitment, and so stuck to movies and direct-to-video features. Urusei Yatsura was one of the big titles that changed that. And because all of this comes back to video games anyways, the person behind that release also created the genre-defining computer RPG Wizardry. The title Urusei Yatsura has been translated as Those Obnoxious Aliens. The concept is that through a series of wacky misunderstandings, hapless loser Ataru winds up engaged to the sexy and jealous alien princess Lum. She's desperate to get to the wedding, he's desperate to get out of it. Naturally, hijinks ensue. The game Urusei Yatsura Stay With You was a very big deal when it was released. It was the first release marketed as a digital comic, a genre that's going to take up a very large portion of the PC Engine's library. This genre consists of very simple adventure games, based on licensed properties, and with a lot of multimedia flourish. The space adventure Cobra game that we saw very shortly after the CD-ROM unit's release is often grouped in with these digital comics, though the term was coined specifically for Urusei Yatsura Stay With You. The big feature of this game, the one that got it all of the attention, and the reason I had to turn off the game audio, is that it reunited the entire cast of the animated series. This is the first time that has happened for a video game. You might recall that Space Adventure Cobra had to recast the main character. So if you wanted more Urusei Yatsura, this was about as close as you were going to get. The plot of the game is that Ataru's childhood friend Shinobu's abducted from school, with the perpetrator leaving behind a gemstone and a letter challenging Ataru. As Ataru and Lum investigate, more friends go missing, with gemstones being left behind. Since I didn't reach the end of the game, it's hard to say exactly how much is voiced, but from what I experienced, it seems to be about 80% of all dialogue that's on the correct path. The CD-ROM, of course, only holds a maximum of 74 minutes of dialogue, and they have to reserve some of that for the opening theme song, which is from the TV show, of course, not to mention the actual game data. That said, they were very efficient at using that space. All the dialogue is digitally encoded, rather than being stored as Redbook audio, and it occupies about 400 megabytes on the CD. Now, despite compressing it digitally like that, it still sounds great. As for the gameplay, well, it's a menu-driven adventure game, and in this case, it's very rare that you have more than 5 options at any given time. It'll easily channel you into whatever step you need to take next. Now, the game will take you about 4 hours to complete, so you might not do it in one session. You can hit select to save your game. There are a few points where picking the wrong option can be fatal, and at those times, you can't save your game. Later on, after the point where I stopped, there's also a few mini-games. Things like a sliding block picture puzzle. Urusei Yatsura Stay With You was a very big deal when it was released. It was one of the biggest CD-ROM games of 1990. In fact, in December, Hudson re-released the game as a special edition, though the bonus didn't have anything to do with Urusei Yatsura. Instead, it was a compilation of music taken from other Hudson CD-ROM games. This doesn't seem to have had much staying power either. The few people who had something to say about it mentioned that it was very slight as an adventure game, but they liked it as more Urusei Yatsura. And yeah, that's pretty fair. This is an impressive technical achievement for 1990, but it's also the kind of thing that if you played it once, then you're kinda done. And it has the usual problem of licensed games, where it just can't live up to the original. On the other hand, it did bring back the entire cast of the original show. This is the kind of thing where if you're a fan, you'll go through it once and probably enjoy how it hits all of the appropriate beats. But if you're not a fan, then Urusei Yatsura Stay With You is not for you.